All right. Wow, the power and force of just me speaking. Now, this weighs 17 pounds. You can't tell, but I have that kind of power. Hi, I'm Father Joe Krupp, pastor at Holy Family in Grand Blanc and St. Mark and Goodrich, and I am here to answer your questions and to drink coffee. Special thanks to Sharon, who got me a new Tiger's cup, and in the process earned 18 points toward her salvation. Thank you, Sharon. So, let's look at what we got. These are the new questions. Haven't looked these over yet. Now I'm back to upside down. How are appropriate ages for sacraments determined? Specifically, reconciliation, Eucharist, and confirmation. A fine question. So the church has this thing called the age of reason. And if you have a child this age, you're going to laugh. But the church says that the age of reason is 7. And yes, I'm pausing for laughter. Thank you. No, what they don't mean like, high reasoning. But a 7-year-old is about the age where they figure a kid can know what's right and wrong on a basic level. And since that's the case, then they can go to confession. Yeah. That 7 is the age when they're able to do some of the math themselves and not just be able to memorize, don't do that and do this, but be able to guess what the right answer is going to be. I hope that makes sense. So that's the age of reason, and so that's the age for their first confession, which once they've got their first confession, now they're ready for their first communion. So that's how those two work out. Confirmation's a little more amorphous. The pattern in the U.S. seems to be that we're confirming somewhere between 6th grade and 52 years of age. Every parish I've been to, it's different, but it does seem to be between 6th and 9th grade for the most part. How is that determined? I'm really unclear. It was, of course, and there's a ton of people listening who know this, in the Eastern churches, they do all those sacraments right when they baptize the child. So they're baptized, they receive their first Eucharist and their confirmation all right there at baptism. And then they get their reconciliation at age 7. So I'm not sure how we determine it or why, but I know it's common. People will say, well, confirmation's when you become an adult in the church. That's not true. But I think we've kind of moved it into that age because that's when kids seem to really need a lot of strength. Total guess, but okay. How many did I do? Oh, I just did one? Sweet. Okay, look at this big fat one. Like me. Okay, if a Catholic priest leaves his job, that's in quotation marks because we don't work, as a diocesan priest, will he still be able to celebrate Mass? Does he need to be associated with a diocese or an order, or can he just get Catholics together and celebrate Mass? This is one of those canon law things, right? Canon law is the law that governs our church, and stick with me for a second. I have a code of canon law right here. Okay, so the church is 2,000 years old, and this is our law book, but it's only half of this. Most of it is commentary, okay? And every law is on here twice, once in Latin, once in English. We don't have a ton of laws, right? Just think of the U.S. frickin' tax code, right? The church has this idea, we were taught, she only makes a law if she has to, okay? Why? Laws are funny things. If you say never do this, somebody will find a situation where you probably should do that. And then you start into this whole thing of legalism, and it never works out good for anyone. Anyway, why am I doing this? Because for a ton of historical reasons, a priest cannot just gather people and pray Mass without the permission of his bishop or the bishop of the diocese he's celebrating Mass in, or if he's a religious order priest, his superior, who then gets permission for the diocese that the priest is in. And again, I don't want to bore you with all the reasons for that, but I remember hearing a priest one time, and this is so awful, but saying to a bishop, "You need me more than I need you." That means that priest did not have a basic understanding of this. No, I need my bishop to be able to fulfill my vocation as a priest. Okay? So, and clearly, the Lord agrees with me because he's making my watch beep. I've turned off my watch. Let's get back to it. Okay. Is there a difference between having faith and belief in God? Yes. The devil believes in God, but he doesn't have faith. In fact, it's so crazy. I just was talking about this last night at the Bible study. I'm doing a Bible study. You're not. Belief is I would assume what you mean by belief, is a conviction that something is true. Faith is a submission to that truth that comes from a relationship. I think that's a good way to think of it. Okay, so it's one of the things where we want to be sure and be conscious that what we believe transforms how we act, and that our belief and our faith are dependent on each other and working together. James writes a lot about this. So I think I answered that question. Yes, I'm getting nods. Okay, and I'm not getting confused looks. I remember my second year as a priest, I was giving a homily, and it was awful. I legit felt bad for God's people. This was at St. Gerard. And what had happened is I had a homily, and then I changed it, and I ended up giving both of them at the same time, and they were awful. And I looked, and the entire congregation had the same look my dog gets on his face when he sees a fan, right? It was just... And I literally just stopped the homily and said, I'm so sorry. And we said the creed, and that was it. Poor Jesus. Anyway, so thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for liking these videos and sharing them, getting the word out. We're really blowing this up. What a riot. And a lot of it is because of my devastating good looks and my long flowing hair, but some of it's because you guys get the word out. So thanks for I'm very silly today. So thank you for tuning in. Send those questions into the Church of the Holy Family Facebook page, and we'll get after them. Have a great day. God bless you.